Welcome back, everyone, to the What a Load of Bowls podcast. It is Simon Little's 41st birthday today. Simon, congratulations.
Get lost, DJ.
Oh, sorry, it's episode 41. Oh, my bad, mate. Sorry, you can see where I made that mistake. Yes, folks, episode 41. Following up from last fortnight ago's one. Certainly got people talking that one, but we'll talk about that a bit later. Simon, how's your week? How's your fortnight been, mate?
Yeah, welcome everyone. Any new listeners, welcome to the podcast. The best bowls podcast there is going around. Probably, I'm going to say, I can't say it, not the best co-host, but one of the best co-hosts maybe in DJ. Yep, this week DJ has been pretty quiet in the work front, pretty quiet in the bowls front as well. Had a weekend off from bowls, so just took it easy. No practice, no nothing, a little bit of a break from bowls. So
I thought you would have had a bit of RSI in the last couple of weeks. Repetitive strain injury from all those autographs you were signing because you're Mr. Tarrant Point Major Singles, as you kept mentioning 17 times on the last podcast.
Oh, well, I think that was your fault. You just kept chucking it in there, didn't you, in the podcast?
Yeah, so yeah, I did. Well, we've got more big news this week. I know, mate, you're going to blush. You don't want me to mention it. But you've made the rep team, Simon. You're off to Inter-Regions.
Thanks, mate. Yeah. Another year at Inter-Regions. Another selection on the side, eh?
Yeah, not bad. Plenty of quality players in that team to carry you, so you should do all right.
Yeah, I should be all right. I'm playing second, so I didn't say you can hide a second. You can hide a unit second, so yeah, that's where they started.
Handwriting in me for marking the scorecard.
Yeah, I think that's maybe where they put me in, just to do the scorecard.
Yeah,
make sure the scores are all right. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, good. Well, mate, good to make that again. The team's red hot. The team looks pretty good.
Yeah,
first ever Inter-Region. So obviously it's been Interzone before, but it's the first time it's ever been called the Inter-Region. So it's sort of an inaugural one. I know Zone 16, I think, are pretty keen to try and win that one because they won the last Interzone, didn't they? So yep. They'll be trying to win that. But obviously Zone 13, previously Zone 13, and now Metro Southwest, are you now? Southeast? Southeast, yeah. So you guys are obviously pretty red hot. It's good to see a vast amount of clubs being involved in that selection too, Simon. A total of 3.
Yeah, it's very heavily in Engadine and Tarrant Point, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
That's and then obviously AJ, Adam Jeffrey from Grandview.
Young fella from Grandviews.
Yeah, he's definitely ticks up the average age on our team, so he does, yeah. So it was he's got a wealth of experience, obviously previously playing for Australia back in the day, and he certainly can still bowl and has not lost it at all.
Yeah, good. Right, we'll talk about that in a couple of weeks' time once all the teams start to get announced, mate. But big week up there in Queensland, mate. Cyclone Alfred. Thought it went on for a month, so just every news thing was about it. It's just by all means, it could have been catastrophic if it had hit the way they were predicting, but it just seemed to take days upon days. I know from being down here, like the weather. I look at the weather zone app's the one that I use the most. Man, I've never known it to be so far wrong for 7 days. You're trying to plan ahead, and everyone was flipping out on Wednesday, thinking Pennant was going to be cancelled on Saturday. We got one shower. It was just they predicted at one point 20 to 40 mil on Saturday, so everyone's freaking out. The next thing it was Sunday, and then Sunday we didn't get a spot of rain, and then it was Monday in the game we got nothing today. So it absolutely wreaked havoc just all over the place, really. You see there beaches up on the Gold Coast?
Oh, looks...
Well, what you see beaches, they're like cliffs. It's like the cliffs of Dover there, isn't it?
The cliffs of Gold Coast. Oh, that's going to take some clean-up effort. Like, yeah, what do you do with that? Like, do you just leave them? Or do you try and fill them in? Do you grade them out? Do you try and...
Well, it'll come. Like, naturally, it'll come back. It's just a matter of how long is that going to take. I don't know. Do they get the dredger out? You know, they've had dredges up there in the past where they split the sand back towards the shore. I don't know whether they do that. I honestly don't know. I didn't pay attention in high school when they talked about replenishing beaches. So,
no, that's certainly...
They were actually... Yana kept sending me all the videos. Dear lover, and it was like 2 meter high cliffs. I think he's seen one video where it's 5 meters tall at one point, where it used to be like just level beach. Yeah. But we've booked to go up there in July, so we have to see Aaron and that. I've said, well, if we want, we'll cancel the holiday. It didn't go down well. We'll still be going up there, mate. I'll report live for you and see how the beaches are replacing come July time.
Yeah.
But Aaron was right in the middle of it. He was sending me funny videos saying, all right, well, we've just had the worst of the wind, and I'll just take you outside and show you the damage, and a pot plant falling over.
No.
This pot plant's falling over. Then karma got him a little bit. He got scared because he lost electricity for a bit.
Yeah.
And they were telling, this is on the Sunday at about dinner time, and they're telling him it may not be back till Tuesday. Well, if he says, I've gone to sleep about 9:30, 10 o'clock, woke up at 11, and it was back on.
Well, in-laws are up there in north side of Brisbane, so they unfortunately they had no electricity for about a day and a half.
Right.
It did affect a lot of people, and as you said, maybe not to the extent that they were all predicting, but obviously still some damage up there. And you sent me a couple of things with Bowls clubs as well.
Yes.
That a few greens.
Let's slowly say that one.
Yeah, a few greens underwater and things like that. So yeah, there's another one I seen of a Bowls club up there, DJ, and it was probably sort of 4 or 5 feet underwater, the whole club. So yeah, it's not that you want to see that. And hopefully all that damage and rectification can get happening pretty soon and get back to normality.
Back into our own state too, because obviously it affected the north part of that. And in a couple of weeks' time, pretty much all the good players that won a regional championship, Simon.
Oh, would you be going to that as well, DJ?
Oh, I'm part of that. We're all going to head to Ballina, mate. So there's a bit of a worry there. But I was talking to the secretary manager at Cherry Street Sports today, Terry Sheehan. He says they've all come up pretty good, so they're pretty happy. They'll be perfect again come the 25th of March.
Well, here's a question for you. How on earth did you make state championships?
Mate, you got to pick a good team.
It must be in fours or triples.
It's fours. Of course it's fours.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, you meant Mick Cronin, Brody Pitham, and Dylan Riley.
Are you playing second?
No, I'm at leading.
I thought maybe that's where, because that's where you hide people at second, isn't it?
Oh, I can roll a jack.
Okay.
So I can. Mick likes a certain length, and I tend to get that, although I didn't last Saturday, but we'll not talk about that. But yeah. Now, it's good to see, it could have been, obviously, it seemed to be a case of prepare for the worst and hope you don't get it. And I don't think they did. Obviously, a lot of water around stuff we got there. But our managers are still off on their junket to the AHG up in Brisbane this week. They made sure they didn't miss that. So a lot of club managers are up there at the gaming conference. Yeah, no, obviously very lucky. And anyone that was affected, obviously we hope you recover quickly. And yeah, I had a chat to Max as well too, mate, because obviously we're looking at putting the roof in. Nothing fell down, so that's for Max. John Rivera and the team up there. Big endorsement.
Shameless plug.
Oh, it wasn't meant to be a shameless plug, and it's probably not something to be joking about. No Bowls canopies fell over in Cyclone Alfred. Well done. Yeah, maybe we'll get a discount now for mentioning it. I'm going to have to send it to John. Oh, dear. What else is going on? Well, mate, since we're up there in Queensland, we'll be starting on around the greens. Obviously, Cyclone Alfred sort of put a bit of a pause to that Queensland Premier League.
Did see that.
Apologies again, folks, for Dale McGuinness Shillington's interview.
A few feedback from that, didn't we? TJ.
Man, it was. It was a good chat. It was just obviously some people aren't as tech savvy as my good old producer across from me here, Simon Lowell.
Yeah, I did try my best to get that audio as best I could, and I spent a lot of time trying to enhance that audio, but it just was so poor that I couldn't do anything with it. But yeah, apologies for that, but we will definitely look to get people a bit more tech savvy on the next time.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, anyway, how's that going? So like we said, rounds, I think it was rounds 8 and 9. No, rounds 8 was played. Round 9 and 10 was meant to be a double header last weekend. That obviously has not been played, so they're up to round 8. How's the ladder going? Pine River's still top with Burley Heads. Both teams on 6 wins and 2 losses. Both on 12 points. But Pine Rivers are ahead on by a rink and a half. So they are there. Rounding out the top 5 for the playoffs. Kapalaba, 5 wins, 2 losses and a draw. Broadbeach, 5 wins, 3 losses. Musgrave Hill, 5 wins, 3 losses. And then just outside of that is Paradise Point, 5 wins, 3 losses. But their points of 10 and their rink wins of 13 are level with Musgrave Hill, but they are behind on shots. And our good friends up there at Tweed, they are battling hard. 3 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws.
2 draws?
So they're up for a full house this week if they can manage to get a draw out of that. Imagine that, 3-3-3 after 9 rounds. But good luck to Turles and Sam Barkley, and obviously Gary's marking for them up there. So big push for them to try and make the finals. But that's how it sits so far. Like I mentioned, top 5 is where the playoffs come in. Well, we'll see how they go from there, and we'll keep you informed next time around on how Queensland's going. Sticking with it, mate, we're going to jump down to Victoria, aren't we?
We are indeed, down south, across the border.
Yep, into Mexico. Their Metro pennant, the weekend Premier Division. Deer Park finished top of the ladder. Yarraville, Footscray, Melbourne, and Moonee Valley rounded out the playoff spots. In the final, the grand final, we had the Yarraville, Footscray against Deer Park, the powerhouse. Deer Park going for 3 in a row, mate.
Fear the deer.
So they were. Mark Casey and the boys. See, Chrissy Green wasn't involved in that one, which may have affected the result because they weren't able to do it this time. It wasn't 3 in a row. Yarraville, Footscray came away with a 79-65 shot win. So Nathan Black had a 17 shot to 21 loss to Lee Schreiner. Brett Manny, 15 shots to 17 against Mark Casey. Big Cohen Litfin come down from Queensland, 24 shots to 14 against Manny Boyce. And finally then Craig Mills with a 23-13 win over Kevin Anderson.
So yeah, it looks like those last 2 ranks really done the damage, really. And then
that's where it was when they turned it around, yeah. So what a four shot there, 2 shot there. So they're up by 6 on those 2 ranks, but down by 20 on the other 2. So there's your difference there straight away. So well done to Yarraville, Footscray. And commiserations to Deer Park. Obviously, would have been nice to go 3 in a row.
Yep.
But as you said before we came on, mate, not everybody can be Tarn Point.
Good on you, Jose. Putting the words into my mouth. Well done.
Yeah, Cabramatta were, but I can still remember that. To be fair, I can still remember. I think it was Johnny Green I was talking to when he went 3 in a row. It was like, oh, that'll be hard to beat. That'll be hard to beat. Next 3,
Cabramatta.
It was always straight away after it. So it was, but yeah. Oh dear. Speaking of Cabramatta, they had their Sydney Masters, mate. The $100,000 four-side. Did you get to watch much of the live stream, mate, when you were in the office working hard?
Actually, dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, I wasn't out in the field with work, so I was in the office while it was on. So I managed on the second screen. I just had the live stream. So the YouTube live stream, I had it on my second monitor most of the day. So whatever they live streamed, I had on. So yeah, I did catch some of the games and didn't obviously pay full attention to it, but had it on in the background. So yeah, I thought like their live stream was pretty good, and yeah, they had some other results through there, and I do believe it was guys from Queensland that came down.
I was about to touch on that. That was, yeah, I haven't asked any questions what went on there, but that was very interesting, I thought.
Yeah.
So it was with, to have, certain locals that could maybe live stream it for you, but to bring the boys down from Gold Coast Tweed, who do an awesome job.
They do a great job.
To bring them down to actually do it, it was good. So yeah, from what, I caught a few glimpses here or there, spoke to a couple of players that were there. Very well run event. Nick Cahill and all that, they're putting in a massive effort leading into it.
Yeah.
All the clubs got personalised jacks and everything to commemorate the first year and stuff. And good event, well run event, and wouldn't you know it, Cabramatta came out on top. So they run this event just so they can win it. Brilliant. Well done.
Won their own tournament. Well done.
Nah, they did. He's seen the team.
Yeah.
Carl Healy, Aaron Wilson, Nick Cahill, Jamie Lee. Yeah, be very good team to beat that. But yeah, they did beat Musgrave Hill Pelicans in the final. So they did. So well done to everyone that went down. Well done to Cabramatta for winning it. Well done to Cabramatta for running the event. And hopefully it goes from strength to strength and they keep that one going. It's good to see a few little four-sides popping up around the place. I know Warilla with Jeremy and that have done a couple.
Yep.
Done a few, actually. Actually, they started that before COVID. This was an interesting one. I didn't realize until I was talking to one of the guys that was going down there, and it was because the Warilla one was just two or 3-ball pairs, 2 teams playing.
Yeah.
This one was actually a 4s. You could be drawn to play 4s, which is just obviously just one rink.
Yeah.
Or you could be play triples and singles, or you could play 2 pairs. Like, it was very, very interesting. So it was. And then I think whoever finished top of the ladder, then when it went on to the semi-finals, they actually got to choose which disciplines they wanted to play as well.
Didn't understand that, but yeah.
Just adds that extra element to it. They used to bring that in. I don't know if they still do it, but rugby league, they used to do that in the Super League back at home.
Yeah.
So they did, where the team that finished minor premiers had a choice of who they played the next week. That's your team talk done straight away, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, they're obviously picking this because this is what we think. This is what they think they can beat us at. But
I do like that concept of the 4-a-side, 5-a-side, where you do have that you're playing different disciplines, and I quite enjoyed playing that when I did play Helensville 5-a-side, lucky enough, a few times, and it was,
look at me,
something a bit different to your normal stock standard pennants.
Yeah,
you're just playing 4s. Brings it, as you said, brings a different element, and maybe you have to have players that are a bit more versatile that can play different positions and swap players around. Like that's what like Cabramatta, you could rearrange that team whatever way you wanted and it would still be a red hot team. It's not like you've got individuals that are specifically set for those positions. So yeah, wonder is that something that we're going to see more and more and more of, is those type of tournaments rather than your just stock standard triples and fours and things like that. So yeah, I'll be all keen for seeing those formats more often. And yeah, well done to Cabramatta. Like huge prize money, $100,000 for a tournament for 1 week. Yeah, that's big money to be forking up. And obviously they got sponsors. And I've seen a few videos they put up, and there was a couple of drone videos I've seen as well, like going around the club. And yeah, they definitely put some huge effort into it. And well done to Cabramatta.
Yeah, super. Speaking of different formats, man, we've talked about it before. This is where single gender pennant should be going, as far as I'm concerned. New South Wales 5-a-side fell by the wayside, so it did, which it was good, but yeah, not necessarily. It was targeting again an elite caliber, so maybe that's one that could come back, but isn't necessarily needs to come back. But I still just don't. I don't want to rant the game yet, but we may as well while we're on it. I don't see why we're playing 3 formats of pennants. Club Challenge was fantastic, right?
That was a great.
You don't know what you've got until it's gone, realistically.
Agree.
Like, that's what we should be playing. We shouldn't have any of that. That should have been reincarnated somehow or revamped or something to have a men's and a women's competition. None of this single gender pennant stuff. Speaking of which, the state finals for single gender pennant are on at the minute. Simon, have you been keeping it?
I just seen a few posts today. Obviously, the rain has been pelting down all day here in Sydney. The women were playing down at Fig Tree because all our ladies are playing in the Town Point #1 ladies were playing in that. And obviously, there's quite a lot of things in social media about it's going to be on, it's going to be off, and they did get called off a few times, I think, today.
Well, they actually didn't get the second game played, Simon, because my girls are down there for Division 2 as well.
Yep.
So they got called off part of the way through the first game, and then they got that one finished. But I don't know if they even got out for the second game. I think I might have seen something advertised for the right having the roll up ends getting ready for the live stream, and then they ended up pulling the pin on it. So they're actually going to have to play 3 rounds tomorrow. So they are on the Wednesday because it's Tuesday now as we record. But yeah, just a quick rundown on that, folks. So the men, good to see the men actually having a decent competition this year. Last year, I think they had 3 or 4 teams. Yeah, there's actually nine this time around. 2 sections. 2 sections with the winner of each section going through to play off in the final. So as it stands, Warilla are top of their section with 2 wins so far. Ahead of Maryland's also with 2 wins. They're half a point ahead.
Yeah,
Maryland's have got a 40-shot buffer though if it comes down to it. So yeah, the other teams rounding out that section are Tuncurry Beach, St John's Park, who have had a loss and a bye, and Edelong. And I went in the second section. Gunnedah are leading the way, mate. They've only got that section's got a bye in there too. So they've had 1 game. And then Raymond Terrace are in that section too. And I've had a look at that team. That is a gun team, obviously. And then Marimbula and our local rivals, Curry, rounding out that section. So like I said, 2 section winners play off in the final of that one. In the women's Division 1, what's happening there? So they've got 2, 3, 4 sections by the looks of it. So they'll play pretty much a normal state pennant final where it'll be top 2 will go through a quarterfinal, semi-final, final. All right, so Foster lead their section over Mamora and Malua Bay at this stage. And section 2, Neutral Bay and Port City are in the playoff places there ahead of Kyra. In the third section, 4 teams in this section. So Charlestown and Cabramatta lead the way over Tarrant Point and Curry. So your girls had a loss today, Simon. 16-shot loss against Cabramatta by the looks of it. Curry went down by 46 shots to Charlestown. And then Fig Tree Sports and Maryland's are top 2 in the next section ahead of South Tamworth and Windsor. So all to play for that week. Hopefully the weather gets a bit better for the next couple of days and we can actually get a competition in, because I know a lot of girls will be looking forward to this. Yeah. Another negative part of it is that like these events were played, some of them played them in like July, August, September last year, and here we are in, what are we now, March, and they're finally get to play state finals. Like a lot changes between now and then, but yeah, hopefully they get the competition played and onwards and upwards. Sticking with New South Wales, linking a little bit to our topic of conversation from last podcast, Simon.
Yeah.
Platinum Pennant. They have announced the draw, mate.
Oh, it's online. Yes, it's online.
Show's online. So interesting. The clubs are all there. It's the same 12 as last year. Big sponsor with TAB.
Oh, that
Well done.
a big sponsor. That's a good draw. That is a good job.
Oh, look, I'll give a rap there. That's Tim. That's Tim using his background. Like he done it when he got P&O involved. He's got a couple of other places involved. This is Tim's bread and butter, and it's what he's going to bring to the game for us. Like being able to market it that well, being able to use his, like I said, his connections and his past experiences to get these types of things involved. I don't envisage that we'll see any betting on the Platinum Pennant anytime soon, even though it is sponsored by TAB, because I think there's a few little things with Bowls that could maybe scupper that type of stuff, just to be controversial. But anyway, the draw is there for all to see. It's got, we're going to open up with a live stream game at Cabramatta Bull against St. John's Park on the 11th of April, mate. Rounding up with finals are going to be at Cabramatta. Yep. Round 11, all teams head to Cabramatta to play, and then it's the final series after that. So 11 rounds of Platinum Pennants all coming up. Try to go in to have a look at the clubs and their players. Guess what? It's not there yet. Yeah, but as we mentioned in the last podcast, we know at least one club that's using the rules to their advantage, so maybe that's why the teams aren't up there yet. I don't know. But it's common, mate. Slowly but surely, we're being drip-fed.
Drip-fed, yep.
And again, speaking of Platinum Pennant and last week's podcast, you get much feedback?
Well, just before we talk about that, anyone who hasn't listened to it, go back, listen to episode 40.
Yeah.
All about Bowls New South Wales and DJ having a rant about them, which is not just DJ. That was
it wasn't
a lot of feedback. DJ was just funneling a lot of the feedback that we received. The people were into DJ's ear, and we were kind of just funneling that through the podcast so everyone can understand what the feel is out there about Bowls New South Wales changing their elite competition so it coincides with the Queensland Premier League and also the Metro Pennant down in Victoria. So really we're all battling for the same players to play in the elite league in terms of each state. So we think that's a negative towards our sport and a negative towards the game, that we're going to water down competitions because our elite players can't play in all three states or have the choice to play in all three states. Jump back, listen to it, episode 40. It was a good one. Feedback. Yeah, I got feedback, DJ, that people were totally supportive of what we said and what you put out there. And they said to me that that's exactly what everyone else thinks that's out there on the Bowls green. And fair play to us for actually going out there and saying it and having no fear or consequence of backlash or anything like that. And I think, we do put a disclaimer that it's not any views or opinions that we talk about on this podcast are solely and not anything to do with any association of employer or club or anything that we play for or work for. It's solely our own opinions and what we think and what we say. Obviously, it's just our opinion, and we just want to get it out there so we can have honest discussions about the administration and progressing forward in our sport, because that's what we want, ultimately. We love the game of bowls. It's gave us a lot, DJ, and we want to see it prosper, not only here, but across the globe. And if we can help to make, improvements in decisions in administration and players, and it's all for the good. What did...
I just want to content, man.
Yeah, I know your ego as a co-host.
I just want
what a lot of
podcast. Matt says me ego make content, man. That's all it's about. I don't really care.
What did you were obviously very vocal last week. What did your phone? What text messages did you get? And I do believe we still have clear and open communications with Bowls New South Wales. We have not totally burnt bridges yet. They are still in contact with us.
I got one text message that is, in my lifetime, definitely the politest way I've ever been told to go and stuff myself.
Yeah.
So, just being informed that I was gradually moving down a Christmas card list. that was a good one when I got that. I was driving the kids home from athletics or something like that, and I got that message too. That was good. Mate, like lots of people contacting us, including the likes of Tony Sherwell, CEO of Bowls Victoria. That was nice to get Tony's feedback. Tony was very honest. He liked some of the stuff we had to say. He corrected a few things around Victoria Metro Pennant, which obviously we aren't familiar with. It was good of Tony to do that, obviously. So I'd said about it being an 18-round comp. I was on a roll and I said the wrong thing. It's a 14-round comp, and then they play double headers when it gets to finals. But they got to look at, and another player down there was actually Case. Case contacted me as well and said, just about how much the pennant, the way it is, means to the people of Victoria and how long they've played it. He didn't quite understand it till he got down there as well. But I still stand by the fact of, well, there's got to be some change down there too. Like, if you want,
it's a long.
If you want the marquees, you got to probably change it up a bit so that the other states can still use the marquees as well. Because let's face it, you look at those teams that played in that final, they're all pretty much coming from New South Wales and Queensland.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So if they want to have those marquees, then they're going to have to look at making a change alongside with New South Wales and Queensland. They got to work together. Is the long and short of it, man. They got to work together. And New South Wales have just made a mad flex, and they're just going to try and, from the looks of it, try and force the other ones to change without really having that communication at the table. Some of the feedback I got was all there was communication. When was that communication? From 18 months to 2 years ago. Like, come on, like you can't keep going with that. We were told as well that we needed fact checked or a fact checker on the podcast.
Yeah.
But when I pushed for which facts were actually wrong, we weren't actually told any were wrong, were we?
No. So
no, we weren't.
I don't know. We'll just continue on then.
I checked that with a few other sources around the place that had contacted me before, and there's not too many people, if any, have said that what we said was, or we were wrong on certain things. So, like I said, it was my opinion. I just went off on one. I don't like the rant comment there Simon either made. It was very constructive, I thought, compared to what I could have done. You had the phone call the day after I found out. If I had went off on that was a rant.
Yeah.
So
did we get any feedback in terms of any moving forward? I know a lot of people have sort of said, well, they have to change it, they have to change it. Have you heard anything in the grapevine or anything on the QT? If there's anything there's any discussions in terms of even thinking about changing, or have you heard anything that we can say?
I haven't heard much, mate, to be honest. Which, I don't know, is it good news? Because there's a lot going on at the minute, obviously, too. I mean, they've got 8 divisions across men's and women's playing single-gender pennant finals and stuff at the minute. Probably getting prepared for state championships in a few weeks up at Ballina. Did I mention that was on? Are you going to that?
You did mention you're going to that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just hope they change. I mean, I'm worried that they won't, or worried that they'll dig their heels in because they think what they're doing is right. But it's I just don't see it that way. Not the way it's been done. Like, if that's where it ends up being, fair enough, but not without consultation to the other states to see how all this can work out. Like, without going back on it too much, but no, it was good to hear. Like, some people actually get in touch and say what they thought. They agreed with this. From what I can really see, from the Victorians are really hurting over it. They're really not happy about it. Like I said, the case, they're going to have to adapt. They're going to have to keep your pennant the way it is and be proud of it, but you're going to have to sacrifice the marquees. Or if you want to have it as a league competition, you're going to have to look at not falling in line, but you're going to have to look at working alongside the other states. It's pretty hard.
Yeah, I'd like to in a little bit.
But I'll tell you what, like, without trying to get in trouble, I'm not revealing too much, but that email with Tony Sherwood, like, I can't see how they're not receptive to it. Like we said last week as well, they seem to be a very proactive state from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Tony did get in touch with us, and mate, I honestly think they're very receptive to some sort of a change to make this work.
Yeah.
But they're not going to change just for the sake of it. They have to have communication. That has to be give and take. So
yeah, there has to be, I think, a little bit of give and take, as you say, from both sides. So yep.
Yeah. You doing much preparation at Tarrant Point now that the draw's out, mate? You locked in your free passes with Nest to go and play games and things like that there, mate? Or what's the preparation going to be like now?
I think it's more free passes with my work, actually, that weekend. I can get a few weekends off because, it's pretty hectic. That there's a few Friday night games, plus with a bit of travel in there to get to those Friday night games. So, there's a few things that, I'll have to take some time off work on those Fridays and that to go and play because Sydney traffic, I have to travel all the way up to East Maitland, first game Friday night. Yeah, I think preparations, we're looking forward to. We've got a bit of a new look team. I'm looking forward to Matty Flapper coming on board this season, and obviously he'll give us all. And he's a really good character on the green, and I'll be interesting. I've never actually been in the same team or played with him, or obviously he's down in Victoria all the time, and it'll be interesting to see what he brings to the table, and welcome him to Tarrant Point. So obviously we've got Chris Rosans. He's played BPL and obviously in around that Queensland state side, and he's coming back again. He was with us last year, so Chris is a great guy on and off the green, and brings a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of cheering and positivity to the green. And yeah, he'll be another great guy to have on the team. And we've got a few new faces as well from sort of local area that will step up. And I think in terms of our, we've got a couple of ladies as well. We've got Kate Walkers on the ladies state side. So yeah, it's pretty positive. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully we won't end up in the same position as we did last year, DJ, that you asked about last time. Hopefully we climb a few more positions in the ladder, and hopefully make finals. That would be pretty much our goal, should I say, for this year, if we could make finals. But obviously it's going to be red hot. It's going to be quick fire. So play 3 games the first weekend. Like, you get beaten through 3 games for the first weekend, you're really struggling, and you need to get a lot of wins on the board. Then after that,
it was like
the slack foot.
Just as you mentioned there, I'm having that look at you. As you say, you've got to come up on the Friday night, 6 o'clock start up here at East Maitland. Then the next day, you're actually on the live stream game against Wenty at 2:30. So you got to go all the way back to Wenty.
Yeah.
And then round 3, you finally get home against Cabramatta. So yeah, you got to hope you win one of your first 2 games, because you're not winning that third one. But your round 1 opponents seem to be pretty keen, mate. They're the only team up there. I'm just having a look. The only team up there's named their team already.
Okay.
Give us a bit of insight, maybe change the tactics around. Be interested to see. He's looking forward to playing Ali.
Yeah, that'll be a good game to see. Ali obviously been Tarn Point for many, many years, and yeah, he's going to be playing for East Maitland this year and Platinum Pennant. So yeah, good luck to Ali. Whoever he draws against, I'm sure he won't give him an easy ride.
Yeah. Well, their team's up there. Maybe you want to look at it and work out some tactics. New South Wales Platinum Pennant. It's coming up pretty quick. 11th of April is when it's all going to kick off. Fingers crossed I'll get a run in it in commentary. But comments in the last couple of weeks, you never know. Nah, they've been pretty receptive to it too, man. Like, to be honest with you, I've had a couple of chats in the office, and they've been pretty receptive to it. They understand where I'm coming from. They don't necessarily like it or agree with it. Maybe there's 1 or 2 in there that do actually like it and agree with it, but they can't say much because they're actually inside. But yeah, New South Wales Platinum Pennant, mate. Moving on, mate. Anything else from around the greens? Do you want to go into some more emails that you got? What else do we want to talk about?
Yeah, so we'll always talk about people getting in touch with us. We love to hear from listeners out there in terms of what they want to hear on the podcast, who they want to hear from. People, players, clubs, any topics that certain clubs might be struggling with. We've touched on membership before. Whenever we had like Chrissy Green, junior programs, we've touched on a bit of content with regards to that. If there's anything that any secretaries, administrators, anything like that sort of struggling with, they want some advice with, get in touch with us. If we don't know the answers, we'll certainly go researching and asking and trying to find out how we can.
You will. I'll just make it help.
Yeah, you will just make it up. Yeah. But we did have a few people contacted us lately, and just want to give them a shout out. We have a few different forms of ways you can get in touch with us. One is via email, so simon@thebowlsacademy.com or dj@thebowlsacademy.com. And I'll get back to you pretty quick, but DJ might not. He's busy, playing bowls, going to stage.
Do I have an email?
Things like that. Good old Norm, give him a shout out. Penola Bowls Club, South Australia.
Yeah, right.
Got in contact with us. Not just in Queensland, not just in Victoria. We talk obviously heavily about New South Wales. We touch on Queensland, maybe a bit of Victoria here and there, and obviously South Australia, Western Australia maybe get overlooked sometimes in terms of, but plenty of bowlers down there that are keen. And yeah, he got in contact saying he loves the podcast. Would love to hear if we can talk more openly with regards to other states and stuff. So we'll certainly take that on board. But he said he loves what we're doing and trying to progress our game. And yeah, great to hear from Norm. Also then Facebook, we had Luke got in contact with us, and he gave us a pretty good list, I'd say, DJ, wasn't it? Of a few topics and things that we could look at, and we'll certainly delve into them, and would love to hear from the bowls manufacturers. So that means something that, we can hopefully try and look at and see if we can get some voices from the manufacturers on our podcast in terms of how they determine like different biases, how they come up with different models, the process of that kind of thing, testing, and what they do for different countries. Obviously bowls that are made for Australia aren't going to be very good for the UK. So how do they go about that? I'd love to hear a bit more high performance stuff, like psychology stuff from Jackaroos. So, I don't know, DJ, if you've got any contacts that we can maybe...
Yeah, I'm sure we talk a couple of them with psychology stuff. Maybe, Aaron was pretty interested in maybe coming back on the other week and talking, so we can maybe have a chat there. So we're good. Yeah, that interesting, that type of stuff too. Like, what they actually have to go through and the actual preparation they're given. They're obviously very, very lucky to be at Jackaroo. They've worked hard to be there. But it'd be also nice to see them treated like professionals too, I suppose, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. He also mentioned that love to hear in terms of the greenkeeping side of our game, which is something then very close to your heart, isn't it, DJ?
It is. Speaking of that, there was somebody threatening us with legal action because we kept mentioning his name. We reckon we were doing it just to get publicity, right? We haven't mentioned that name in the last few weeks. We haven't had a fear for being sued, Simon.
Yep.
What happened today? I get a phone call. Oh, I'm coming up your way. We'll have some lunch. From our favourite former greenkeeper. Nice feels it. Yeah, I'm not going to mention his name. But it rhymes with Patty Meoke. And we had a good chat today. And like I said, he was threatening me by mentioning his name too much. And then he's sitting there today going, here's content. He's obviously missing out on it. So
we'll say that. That's kind of half a shout out to him. But if there's any greenkeepers out there willing to come onto the podcast, get in touch with us. We want to hear from the greenkeeping side. Obviously, there's a lot of people, not only within Australia, but we go out to different countries across the world, and they actually would want to hear what goes on in terms of the greenkeeping side, obviously from Australia, because we do have full-time professional greenkeepers here that look after our clubs, whereas in a lot of other countries across the world, it's just guys that are there to cut the grass. So it'd be interesting to hear from the greenkeeping side if there's any greenkeepers that are willing and able to come on and talk about their industry and what they do and give us a bit of an insight into the greenkeepers. Just hit us up and we'd love to get you on and share your insights into the professional greenkeeping that goes on around Australia.
Based on today, I'm pretty sure Matty is. So he is. I'll have a chat to you. The phone will be ringing this weekend again. Get me on. Speaking of just some stuff away from bowls and some interesting topics, you were saying this week, Netflix have got a couple of good documentaries.
They do, yeah. I've had a bit of time. I've been in the office, so I've done pretty short days, 6-7 hour day is pretty short for me. And
yeah, what on YouTube, as you just revealed earlier on?
I've been able to catch on with a few Netflix shows, and there's been a few good ones come out lately. You've had The Court of Gold, which is about the basketball, following basketball. We've had Full Swing come out, which is following the golfers. Yeah. And we've just had Drive to Survive new season come out following the F1. So I mentioned it to you a couple of days ago, and I said, right, we're going to talk about this on the podcast this week. And the reason being is I was sitting watching Full Swing, and Ness, the better half, was sitting on the sofa doing something random. I think she was doing a bit of work on her laptop, but wasn't paying attention to Full Swing. After maybe half, 3/4 of the episode, all of a sudden, the work stopped on her laptop and she started to watch it. Now, Ness is not a golf fan. Doesn't know all the rules about golf. And has never followed golf. Has no interest whatsoever. But she got totally hooked on the Full Swing Netflix. Totally hooked. And we ended up watching, I think, about, our Netflix. Oh, yeah. Next episode. Ended up watching about 4 episodes in a row of Full Swing. And she was so into just, I think, the story of the players. Not necessarily like the freaking golf shots, obviously.
Yeah.
But that whole following, a group of players throughout the season and seeing how they go and a little bit of backstory in their family home, their kids, and you get to know a little bit more, not just the face that you see on the TV playing golf every tournament. You get to understand their life a little bit, and she got totally hooked on it. And I was sitting there going, could we do something like this for lawn bowls? Could we do something? Do you reckon Netflix will be up for it?
I think if they knew the ins and outs and some of the stories that went on, I think they might actually be interested. I think if you just pitched it to them as, hey, do you want to do something like this for lawn bowls? They're going to look at you and think, no, we're not following Bob around his retirement village. And
yes,
there, but
that's what they would think. but we know better.
But I'm pretty confident if we threw something out there and just said, "Oh, this is actually happening." There's a few storylines at the minute too, as you well know. Yeah, this is going on behind the scenes in lawn bowls. What do you reckon? I reckon they might be up for it. I've always said to you too, man, like if some of all these NRL players in the off season getting in trouble for certain things, if they see what some of our lawn bowlers are up to, they come and play the sports in a drop of a hat. Because you don't get the mainstream media getting in trouble for all that stuff. It'd certainly be an interesting one, man. Like who would you want to follow? Obviously, you'd want to have a look. Being in Australia, you'd want to have a look at the Jackaroos. Love to have a camera in a state match committee meeting. Be real insight into what's going on. So you didn't see that one coming, no?
No.
Simon's currently head in hand at the minute, folks. But no, it's just certain things you got. Yeah, not just the player wise, but what goes on off the green, what goes on behind the scenes. I think it would be interesting, mate. And it's something that is outside of the box. Yeah, it might just get people interested in the sport.
Yeah, and show a different side of our sport. Like that's what I think. If you go and grab somebody off the street and ask them what lawn bowls is in Australia, they know what lawn bowls is, but they've got the stereotype of it's, as you say, old Bob, 70-something-year-old, done playing lawn bowls every week or weekend or whatever from the retirement village. If we could get some sort of, it's obviously not going to be Netflix. Netflix are not going to come and do a lawn bowls series, but
don't never say never. You
but something like that doesn't have to be Netflix. But could we get some sort of production? Could we get somebody following a few teams throughout their journey of, a league competition?
Yeah.
Or could we get following a club for a year? Not necessarily just a team. Could it be a club that are following different grades, different characters? Like you think of some of the clubs that you've been to, and man, there's some characters in bowls. Like really,
there it is.
And if you could pluck a handful of characters from a few different clubs that you could follow for, 6 months or 12 months or whatever it may be, and as you say, there'd be some really good stories and really good insights into our game. And as you say, what the other things, not just playing the game, that they could showcase the different aspects of our game that we love about it. But in terms of community, in terms of maybe even the greenkeepers, in terms of club facilities, people working at your club, I think it could really showcase lawn bowls and what we have to offer, in terms of, it'd be great if we could see something like that. I don't know if anyone's listening out there that has contacts within production, media. I don't know. Hit us up. We're happy to try and get something like that going. If we could point people in the right direction or help out in some way, we'd love it. I'd love to see something like that. But as you say, it's outside the box, something totally different. Could we do it?
Jackaroos in the box. There you go. It's the title for it. We follow Jackaroos for a year in the camp just to start off, and then we drop it back to club level.
Yeah.
Especially now with the fighting that there's going to be to get into the Commonwealth Games. So interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. I'm just going to be quiet. I'm trying to think of what characters you want to see in there, and some characters that you might think you might want to see, but maybe probably shouldn't go to mainstream media. There's some interesting ones out there, mate. Another one that's got me thinking, mate, is like we're always talking about money in the game, and we'd like to see some of our players well rewarded for that. Dylan Brown in the NRL.
Yeah. Rugby league here. Anyone who's not rugby league.
Yeah. $13 million over 10 years. But there's caveats in there too. Like, so if the salary cap gets extended, he gets a percentage increase on that too. So they're just throwing $1.3 million at him for the next 10 years. Got me thinking. Yeah. If we had that money in the game, mate, who's your Dylan Brown? 24-year-old, a lot of promise. Has he really established himself? Well, they just got absolutely belted on the weekend. Not that I can say much given what happened to the Roosters on Thursday night. 13 million over 10 years. Man, what's your short list? What type of players are you looking at? Who's your Dylan Brown?
You've just sprung this question on me, so listeners, he didn't ask me this prior to recording, so without any sort of thought, straight away, I thought Jack McShane.
Jack, Joey Clark, Caden Nelson, Jacob Nelson.
Yeah.
Nathan Black.
Nathan Black, yeah.
That's the ones you start with, the young ones that are up and coming. You know, you can't look at your old retirees, like they're done and past it, aren't they?
If it's a 10-year contract, yeah, you need to be somebody, as you say.
But that's the thing with Bowls, but see, that's the thing with Bowls, but like there's like Alex Marshall. You tell me he's not worth 1.3 million a year?
Well, yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, maybe not a 10-year contract, but yeah, he's still killing it.
I think looking at that, like 10 years for an NRL contract, like that guy could go out next year and be hit with injuries, and all of a sudden he's injury prone. He's no good for the next 8 years because he's injury prone like that. Like, but if you take it to a Bulls perspective, 10 years, yeah, you could sign a bowler up for 10 years, easy.
Yeah,
I just don't know about the 13 million, but
yeah,
1300 maybe.
I think we're ever going to have that money in the game unless Netflix do a documentary. Get all the people involved all of a sudden. Yeah, no, definitely. It just got me thinking, like, what would you do? Like, and then it also got me thinking too. And I didn't say this one to you, but again, NRL. It's an Australian-wide competition. Where's Bowls Australia?
Yeah,
can we do something like that? Can we have franchises? You know, can they stump up some sort of funding that these clubs can? St John's and Cabramatta can fly up one weekend and play against Broadbeach and Musgrave in an actual competition. And then they return the favour. They come down a couple of weeks later. Then you go down and you play Deer Park and Footscray and all that there. And is there a way we can do it? You know, like the players are already doing it themselves and travelling around. The clubs are already funded for those players to do it.
Yeah.
Is there a way that we can have a 12-team, 16-team, whatever it is, national competition?
National competition. DJ, that has been talked about since I arrived in Australia 12 years ago. Always talked about having a national competition for clubs. Yeah, I'd love to see it. I reckon it'd be a great event, but with the players playing in all three states, well, you know, you're going to have a bit of a double up, I reckon.
You get away from that then. You would get away from that then. They would have to be at one club, you know, but you'd have to give them that way of the income being there that they can stay at that one club, you know, because the amount of effort that they are putting in to go around and play, it takes a bit of pressure on them too. And then what you don't get is a 38, 39-year-old Aaron Sheriff who's still at the top of his game, retiring because he's burnt out.
Yeah. That
keep them in the game longer.
The thing. Yeah.
You know, Alex Marshall, Paul Foster, right? The Scottish fellas still going late 40s, early 50s, whatever they are, right?
Yeah.
And they've been doing it since they're in their 20s. I would dare say if we had a chat to them and they sort of compared to what they go through to be at the top of the game to what the Jackaroos are doing, I dare say they'd turn around and say if we had to do what they do, would have been done 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. 100%. I agree.
You know, now, they are two of the best they've ever been. And they haven't had to go through what the Jackaroos go through to be the best that they've ever been.
Yeah.
Okay, but because the Jackaroos do it the way they do it, they've got more quality there. And they churn them out.
Yeah.
Like Alex hasn't had someone come through and sort of push him out of the way and go, I'm the new Alex Marshall.
Yeah.
You know, whereas Aaron came through there and he's had to go past the Glassons and that. You know, they've had to go past the Pirellas and that. You know, whereas it's just not, there was Willie Wood, Paul Foster, Alex Marshall, a couple of others. Just again, we've gone off on a tangent here, so I haven't got it in front of me. But you know what I mean? That's spread over 40, 50 years. Now they like, and the Jackaroos just aren't. Like Sheriff's longevity was pretty darn good compared to some. Like he was early 2000s up until now, and he's only just given it. The only reason he's not in now is because he's given it away. You know, you just don't get that because they do burn out. And national competition like that is a way to try and keep your players in the game a little bit longer.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. Love to see it. Love to see a national competition. Love to see Netflix on there. Lawn bowls. Man, that'd be great one day. Seeing lawn bowls on Netflix, but
yeah, we got to give that some more thought. Who would you follow?
We'll put it out there to the listeners. I'll maybe put something on social media. Check out Bowls.
Who's your star? Who would be your stars?
I'll put it.
What are we going to call it? What are you going to call it?
Who's going to be your Netflix star for lawn bowls?
Yeah.
Jump on there. Put your thoughts on there. Who you think I'd love to see some of the names floated out there in terms of who Netflix would follow for a year on the Lawn Bowls green.
So, was it Drive to Survive is the Formula One?
Yep.
And then Full Swing is the golf one. Question without notice, me. What's the bowls one going to be called? Short backswing?
Wrong bias.
Wrong bias. Yeah, I don't know. That would be the alternate one, I reckon, for the real characters in the game. Rolling for gold. I don't know. I mean, you got me thinking that would be a real interesting one, wouldn't it? We'll work on that one. We'll see if we can get that one up and running. Just to finish off, mate. One problem that I keep coming up with in this podcast is every time I'm out, you probably have the same thing. When I'm out signing all those autographs for the fans, I just wish I had some sort of Waterloo Bowls merch that I was signing rather than just those backer coasters that you get in bowling clubs, mate. We got anything in the pipeline?
Well, funny you say that. We do have some merch coming. We've got some Bowls Floss on the way. Going to be spectacular. You've seen the design. Pretty good, eh?
Yeah, mate, absolutely. I'm not biased at all.
But, keep your eyes out.
Completely neutral opinion.
Completely neutral. Keep your eyes peeled on social media, and they'll be out probably next couple of weeks. They're on their way, so that'll be first bit of merch for Wall Load of Bowls podcast, and we'll be gradually bringing out some more stuff. So
that's going to be on the TBA website, is it, mate? For purchase along with your bowls targets?
It will indeed, yeah. Jump onto the website and you'll be able to order those.
Yeah, nice. Would have been handy during Cyclone Alfred, mate.
Yeah, they're pretty good cloths actually to soak up a bit of water. So yeah, they might come in handy for a few wet days or a few wet nights for platinum pennants. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for those folks and order those online and get them sent out to you pretty quick.
And we're finally getting there, mate, through our busy day jobs and our amateur podcasts. We are finally getting there with some sponsorship opportunities for people as well. There'll be a sponsorship pack coming soon.
Yep, absolutely. If anyone out there, any company, any club out there even, if they want to jump on and support our podcast, take up some sort of sponsorship, not agreement, but sponsorship role with the podcast, we're happy to send out. We've got a sponsorship pack detailing everything that we have to offer and how you can support us and get some exposure to obviously all the listeners and all the bowlers out there that jump on and listen to us in every episode. So get in touch.
How about governing bodies? Can they sponsor us too?
They can indeed. We will not discriminate against anyone. If there's anyone listening out there or anyone you can think of that would be interested, just shoot the podcast to them or get them to get in contact with me, Simon at thebowlsacademy.com, and I will forward on a sponsorship pack. No obligations whatsoever. We will send it out to anyone who's interested, half interested, maybe just a little bit interested. We'll forward it on to you and it'll give you all the details. We're at that point that we've got a fair few listeners and growing steadily every episode. So we are going to put that out there and for anyone who's interested.
Yeah, got a bit to offer for those that are interested. So yeah, as Simon says, get in touch with Simon at thebowlsacademy.com for your sponsorship packs. And for anything less serious than that, you can always get in touch with me at DJ at thebowlsacademy.com. Yeah, $20 is $20. We'll say what you want. Not quite. But look, folks, that'll do us for this week. We'll see you again in a fortnight's time with a bit more things to come. Round up on single gender pennants, who won what. Platinum pennants is getting a bit closer. Maybe talk a bit more how the clubs are going in their local pennants as well. Just a quick shout out to Club Mailto City. 3 rounds in, Simon.
Yes.
21 games total played over 3 weeks. 19-1. On fire.
Not bad.
Henry Muskowskis OAM, our president's not really best pleased with me though, because we do have a thing where if every grade gets up on a weekend, there's a schooner of beer or a beer ticket given out to everyone, and we've done that 2 weeks in a row now, mate. So fantastic achievement. So club's going good. I'm pretty proud. That's why another shameless plug there for old Club Mailto City. We are absolutely on fire. But very, I'm very, very aware you don't win pennant flags after 3 rounds.
No.
So
that's it.
It's up to them to keep going, but certainly the culture's good, the momentum's good. The girls are doing very well down at single gender pennants. The men are doing very well up at their single gender pennant. 2 wins from 2 on their first day. So yeah, the club's going good. I couldn't be prouder. We're obviously doing something right.
Absolutely. Well done.
So on that, well done, everybody else. Hope you're all enjoying yourselves around the greens, and we will see you in a fortnight's time. Just remember, keep that little disc on the inside.
And good luck on those greens, folks.